Yo, what is going on, IK fam? BN, I'm back again today for another video, and we're going to be talking about an alliance event today. And this is actually going to be called Alliance Development. And we're just going to show you some tips and tricks and some ways to make the most out of this event in a few ways. Now, before I do start, as always, guys, if you enjoy the IK content, make sure you sub to the channel, hit that notification bell so you guys can get updates on when we post new Infinity Kingdom videos, as we usually do at least a couple every week. Now let's dive right into it. There's going to be three big parts that we talk about here. Now, let's first define what the Alliance Development event is. So it's a ranking competition of Alliance Development during the event, donating Alliance technology, gathering resources to win points. When your points reach a certain target, you receive rewards, then you also get end-of-event rewards. So let's look at what those are. So Prosperous Life, which is you get 1 point per each 10k resources gathered. Now this is when the resources return to your city, similar to how a dragon chest shows up after you defeat a boss and your march has to go all the way back to the city before you then see it pop up in your treasury. Alliance technology, pretty straightforward. 1 donation equals 1 point. Now, the rewards you'll see are broken up into 5 tiers at 5, 7, 9, 12, and 16k points. Rewards are okay here, but the better ones are definitely in the ranking placements, right? And this is where you'll find it from here, right? 1 through 3, right? You'll see Philo Stone speed up, some XP scrolls, and then some gems. Now, there's 3 big things as I mentioned before. Number 1 is you need activity. Number 2 we'll talk about is going to be the resource gathering, and then 3 we'll talk about some alliance donation tricks. Now, first and foremost with activity. If you want to place well in alliance events, but more specifically the alliance development event, you need to have high activity, which means you have to make sure that you are proactively vetting your players. Now, I'll give you a brief example as I've showed in a previous video of what we do. So I simply just have all of my silent, present, or new players in my R1 position. Right, so you can see there's some silent, some present players here. Not too many, thankfully, because we weeded most of them out. Silent is usually the ones that are, kind of like up next on the chopping block. But we've also figured out that some silent players are still active. Right, so this is something to just keep in mind, that you may find that some of your players are still donating, or they're still doing helps, or they're still increasing power. I had one silent person who increased power by 12k over a couple days, but he was still silent, right? Just because he just didn't either maybe log in that much, or maybe there was a glitch and it just wasn't registering for whatever reason, right? That's why we take the extra step to go off of our spreadsheet, and we look at how everyone's Lord power, their overall donations, troop power, a couple other areas as well, and I just find that it's more accurate to do it that way, right, than just relying solely on the in-game stats. So that's first and foremost. Make sure you have good activity. Now, number 2, let's talk about the resource gathering. So there's 3 parts here to the resource gathering. Number 1 is you want to make sure that you are gathering the highest RSS tile or node that you possibly can. And to give you an example of this, if we look at a level, let me see if I can find a really small one here, level 4. I have 83.4k an hour that I'm gathering. If I then go to a level 6, which I wish I could find one faster, level 7 will do just fine, I'm now gathering 417k an hour, which means that the higher the tile, the faster I'm gathering resources from that. So you always want to gather from the strongest or highest tile that you can, that your Lord level allows. And you'll notice that as certain Lord levels, right, these go up in increments of 5, right? If I want to get a level 7, I have to be Lord level 30, so I got 1 more to go for my account. Now, from this, you also want to make sure that you are gathering tiles that are close to your city, right? The closer the tiles, the shorter some of the time you'll save on march time, going out and then coming back. And then number 2 for resource gathering is going to be boosts, right? So this is something that you can consider as well. If you need to use resource gathering boosts, these are things that you can do to increase this amount of speed that you are gathering in, which is a long roundabout way of saying that. And then the last one, which is number 3, is gather within your district. For any districts that you own, you get a 50% gathering speed boost. So those are the 3 big things there. Now let's talk about donations. Donations are pretty straightforward, right? It's 1 donation point, or 1 donation gets you 1 point, right? pretty standard and self-explanatory. Now, here are the tricks, right? Is that number two, there's kind of a two-part trick here. One, you can always donate green gems, right? As you can see, if I go to Alliance and I click Tech, I then can donate green gems, right, up to whatever my maximum gem donations are for extra. So that's an option, right, if you really need to utilize that to boost your overall rank. But the pro tip here that I'll give you, which kind of goes into part two, is actually twofold. So if you really want to get ahead early on in the event, you can do one of two things, or both in this case. The first is you can tell all of your players to save up tech donations, so that way they're at 23, 24 out of 24 before, or excuse me, better yet, right after reset. So, as an example, let's say that the Alliance development event for, let's just say a new Alliance development event will start on February 23rd, right? It's the 22nd right now. That means that in 3 hours and 53 minutes, this event is going to start at reset, which is 0000 UTC. So what you do is you tell your Alliance a day and a half before, hey, make sure you guys have max donations ready by the time reset hits. So after reset, you can then donate 23 to 24 donations right into tech, right, to do a quick boost because you've been saving up. You can do the same thing with gathering resources, right? If I know that a level 6 is, well, usually it's a mill, right? But if I know this is going to take me a little under 4 hours to gather, right, in addition to some of the other boosts, maybe it takes me about somewhere between 3.5, 4 hours, give or take, right, or maybe 3 to 4, then I can send my gatherer out however long ahead of time, so that way by the time they finish gathering, the march will come back to my city after reset, right? If not shortly after reset, right? So you're kind of you're doubling down on some early boosts in those two areas. That'll help you get a little farther ahead, and I think that that's just a great tip overall for those that are looking to take advantage of this event. Now, as far as the event goes, if I'm just kind of giving you some feedback, I do think the rewards should be a little better. I actually think that the number one reward should at least give you 9 Philo Stones, so that way the number one Alliance players there can do a full 9 pool. And then maybe these scale, like 975 or maybe 963, right? However it is, I think 975 is probably more appropriate based on the 321 scaling. But maybe 963 could work too as well. I mean, I just think that some of the rewards should be a little bit better here. Maybe a little more gems, a little more speed ups. I mean, again, it is a kingdom-wide event, so every player in the kingdom is participating in this, and everyone has essentially more or less kind of a fair enough chance to win the event, right? Because most of it is really based on activity. Even though, of course, some of the higher ranked alliances who are just higher lord talent level, right, can gather from higher nodes. So there are some bonuses and advantages there, of course. But it is a kingdom-wide event. And so, again, that's just my overall feedback. I do like the event, and I hope that you guys enjoyed some of these tips on how you'll be able to take advantage of your next Alliance development event. And as always, feel free to let me know in the comments down below on maybe a next video, your feedback on this event, if you think the rewards are proportionate, if you think maybe they should be a little bit better. As always, you guys can check out our official IK resources in the description. You can join our SA Discord if you would like to come and chat with us. Join us for our weekly Tuesday Town Hall meetings, which are at 13:30 to 14 UTC is usually the starting time there. Anyone and everyone is welcome, right? We enjoy being a good resource and support tool for members of the community. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.